to all the viewers connected with this virtual recording platform of Philosophy Family. And I welcome Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the admin and host, Dr. K. Omnaran Rao, the moderator and the co-admin of Philosophy Family. I offer my regards to all the senior professors joined in this Sunday webinar. Since today we have two sessions as usual. In the first session, we have with us Dr. Anup Rai, and the second session we have with us Professor Hamidullah Maraji. Both the speakers are very familiar to Philosophy Family, and they have contributed their wisdom many times in Philosophy Family. I welcome both the speakers on behalf of Philosophy Family. Today, Professor Anup Rai will speak on the role of media ethics, and Professor Hamidullah Maraji will be speaking on the communal harmony and Indian religions. I welcome both the speakers, but before giving a brief introduction on Dr. Anup Rai, I offer my gratitude once again to all the viewers, and let me present a brief introduction of Dr. Rao. Dr. Rai. Dr. Anup Rai is a retired associate professor of philosophy who has worked more than 37 years in different government-aided colleges of Odisha and took retirement in the year 2019. Dr. Roy obtained MA from Utkal University and PhD from B.R. Ambedkar Bihar University on the theme Logic of Faith. Dr. Roy is a very popular writer both in Oriya language and English language. He has more than 10 books on logic and philosophy. They have been very popular in our state and outside. And Dr. Roy is very familiar to all the intermediate and graduate students of our state. Dr. Roy has contributed many articles to different national and international journals. He has participated in many national and international workshops, seminars, and conferences. Dr. Roy is very familiar to Philosophy Family because he is a well-wisher to the Philosophy Family. He is a contributor, and he has many more things to do for Philosophy Family. And on this occasion, I, on behalf of Philosophy Family, again offer my gratitude to Dr. Roy for his commitment and love both for philosophy and Philosophy Family. And on this occasion, I once again request to present his address on role of media ethics. Over to Professor Anup Rai.
Am I audible now?
Sir, yes, audible.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh, sorry, very sorry for the disturbance. Something unavoidable problem. Anyway, am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Hello. Yes.
Audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, friends. All the organizers of Philosophy Family, Professor Pramod Das, Paras sir, and K. Om Naran Rao, the backbones of Philosophy Family. and all other members of Philosophy family to this nice occasion of the webinar, regular webinar. It is the first session in which I am expected to tackle the role of media ethics. Media ethics, let me start now. Media ethics is one of the subjects of applied ethics. Ethics prescribes us do's and do nots while passing judgments on the voluntary actions of human beings. Media ethics, being a part of applied ethics, does all that ethics does and some more. It deals with the practical problems of human life. We face many kinds of dilemmas in our daily life on different aspects. Dilemma arises between the established moral laws and the realities of life. Confusion arises in deciding what is good to do and what is not while facing the problem on the field. We have theoretically many theories to know what is good and what is bad, but when we are facing the real life situations, there are some confusions. And media is a human affair of the human beings living in this society. Media is the communication outlet or tools used to store and deliver information or data. It refers to the components of mass communications. Components of mass communication industry such as print media, publishing, the news media, photography, cinema, broadcasting, digital media, and even advertising. Media is the most ideal secular platform. It stands above all the natural and man-made divisions in the society. It does not differentiate and shares information to every members of the society, irrespective of his caste, creed, color, nationality, or language. Media fulfills the desire of the people to know. We have always the desire, even we have the right to know. We have the desire to know, and media fulfills that. Therefore, it enjoys the implicit trust of the people. For information, people believe it. Means believe media, believe it. People rely on it. Therefore, because people rely on it, people trust it, because people believe it, therefore media has also a role. So on the other side, media bears implicitly or explicitly the responsibility to keep people informed adequately and faithfully. To win the confidence of the people and become trustworthy, media has to follow some principles. Media ethics prescribes all the standard ethical principles that ethics, theoretical ethics, prescribes us. Do this, do that, this is bad, this is good, all these things. Those are the principles which are applicable to all the members of the society all the time. And also to the media. To media also, the ethical principles are applicable, obviously. Because media ethics deals with the practical life and problems of the people it is involved in promoting and defending all the human values such as respect for life, rule of law, and legality. The fundamental objective of journalism is to facilitate people with all the news and informations on the matter of public interest in a fair, accurate, unbiased, and decent manner after collecting information from their sources. The media people, therefore, it has to do because they win so much of confidence of the people. What is the duty of the media after collecting information from their sources? The media people must examine their authenticity, means the authenticity of the news items, the information they have collected. And only after examining the authenticity, only then serve those informations to people in a socially acceptable manner, socially accepted language. Media must keep in mind the impact of the news on society. You know, most of the people, for information, they are going to TV, newspapers, and radio. And therefore, media has a lot of responsibility to the society. Particularly the electronic media is very advanced. It is fast to reach and fast to reach. It is quick, number one to reach, and it is very quick to reach, very fast to reach and fast to reach the people, and has maximum number of viewership or readership. Its impact on society is swift and great. Electronic media has so much of impact on society that within minutes it can do anything to the society. If they telecast something wrong, a false news, disturbing news to the society, then it can do a great harm. I remember when Gandhi was killed, Mahatma Gandhi, when going to prayer hall, he was fired, and when Mountbatten was there, Lord Mountbatten was there, and at that time from the crowd somebody cried, some Muslim has killed Gandhi. Immediately what Mountbatten did, he cried with louder voice that no, it's a Hindu, I know, he has killed him. Later, Mountbatten has written that actually at that time he didn't know whether it was a Muslim or Hindu who has killed Gandhi. But just to put the fire down, imagine, at that time, if somebody will tell that Mahatma Gandhi was killed by a Muslim, there would have been a communal happened. And imagine, had there been a direct telecast system at that time. The moment the man cried, some Muslim has killed him, it would have spread throughout the world, and communal riots would have erupted, the entire nation would have been in fire. Fortunately, it was not done. And Mountbatten, to put down the fire, immediately told, no, it is a Hindu who has killed him. But he actually did know. But in fact, he was a Hindu, Nasran worship. So, those serving the news must be, the media must be very careful. They must see that whether the news they are giving is constructive and stands to the test of ethical norms, or causing anger, hatred, chaos in the society. Even if unintentionally a news item is served and it creates trouble, the accountability goes to the news channel and the journalist involved in it. In such a situation, what the media should do? The news should be immediately be withdrawn and air has to be accepted, confessed. We know that the future depends on what we do in the present. Our present action decides our future. With the power of impact the media exerts on the mind of the people, it can make the society or it can break the society. It can make the people shake hands with each other, or it can also make the people shake fists at each other. If they are responsible enough, they can build a healthy, prosperous, peaceful society. The news they serve must have truth, fairness, and objectivity. Here again, there is a tag of precaution. Truth should be served, but every truth should not be served, need not be served. But when a truth, when open, creates more trouble to the society than good, such truth has to be kept secret from the public. Because as Malcolm X, the once US minister, social activist, once Malcolm X said, the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make innocent guilty and to make guilty innocent. They control the mind of the masses. Media ethics deals with these practical problems and their possible solution in real life. One of the problems media faces and its journalists and all the people concerned to the media, to the news involved, the problem they are facing is that they have to encounter severe pressure from multiple angles. That is one of the reasons for which they sometimes fail to stand up to the ethical standard they are expected to stand. Again we quote Malcolm X that if you are not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppression. Those people who are doing the oppression, those people who are oppressing others may pressurize media to report in their favor because they have the power to pressurize. So they can pressurize the media to report in their favor. Such possibilities are there and always there in the history of news industry. To check such possibilities, the media houses have noted down some code of conduct known as media ethics. The first and foremost is honesty and fairness. Before publishing any news of facts, the facts should be verified with fairness and no manipulation or falsity should be entered into the news before serving it to the public. Again, if the topic is debatable, then the concerned parties should be given ample opportunity to clarify their position. News should be objective and fact-based. It should respect the privacy of individual until and unless it is very essential for the well-being of the society. Privacy has to be respected. But there are some people, lifestyle of some people are so that their public life and personal life get mixed up. So at that time, what happens? Media is in a problem. They have to decide whether the news I am going to publish is essential for the public. If it is not essential, they must not poke their nose into the personal family life, sex life, or financial life of the individual. Media must not follow. Therefore, because they are entering into the personal life, they must not follow any unethical means to collect information. We know Lady Diana and the paparazzi, how she died. It should very clearly distinguish between fact and fiction. Media should very clearly distinguish between fact and fiction. Nowadays, if we open up electronic media, the social media, like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, they are floating with rumors and false news. That's why Abraham Lincoln warns us. Imagine the days of Abraham Lincoln. At that time he warned us, don't believe everything you read on internet just because there is a picture with a quote. The problem with the quotes on internet is that no one can confirm their authenticity. The quote is there with the picture, but we cannot confirm whether this quote is correct or not. We cannot know the authenticity. We have to rely on the internet. From the guidelines given to the media to follow, the role of media ethics is very clear. Media knows the responsibility they carry on their shoulders and so set guidelines for themselves. Media is regarded as the fourth pillar of democracy. Even though they face pressures from different sides, they have to carry out their duties. Even those face pressure from different sides, they have to carry out their duty towards the society, to the public, with patience, love, and utmost care. They are their own best guide, and the ethical principles are their lighthouse to lead them in the right direction. The role of media ethics is to guide, to become the controller, the advisor, the compass, the pathfinder, and the ultimate refuge of media. It makes the media truthful, honest, trustworthy to the nation, to the public, to the humanity as a whole. Without this ethics, the media is directionless, chaotic, and exploitive. Still then, in spite of being there so many ethical principle guidelines set for the media, still then, if we make a reality check, we find that these guidelines, in spite of these guidelines, media do exploit us. The fact is that the general public, the ordinary people living in the society, struggling for its daily bread, has no time or scope to verify every bit of information they get. So naturally, they have to rely on the media. They believe what is given to them, supplied to them. We, the people, the ordinary people, are very gullible. We can easily be deceived by the media. Before concluding, to show you how gullible we can be and how the social media do exploit us, exploit our weakness. Let me tell you a story. In Idaho, a state of US, Idaho, in Idaho, there was a 14-year-old schoolboy. His name was Nathan Jones. In 1997, when he was in school, he presented a science fair project paper to his classmates. In his paper, he was seeking to ban a highly toxic chemical from its everyday use. The toxic chemical is used every day in our family, in our daily life. Still, he wants to ban it because, according to him, it is highly toxic. The name of the chemical is dihydrogen monoxide. He wanted to get it banned even though it is in our daily, everyday use. Throughout his presentation, Jones provided his audience scientifically correct evidence as to why this chemical should be banned. He explained that the said chemical causes severe burn while using gas flame, causes choking, breathlessness, and even death if inhaled. It kills countless people annually worldwide. It corrodes and rusts metals, causes excessive urination and bloating if consumed. He also pointed out that the said chemical is able to kill you if you depend on it and then experience an extended withdrawal. Jones, after presenting his paper, asked his classmates present there whether they support the ban of dihydrogen monoxide. 43 out of 50 children present there voted to ban the chemical, the toxic chemical. But in fact, the said chemical is not at all toxic and is essential for our daily life. It is that so-called toxic chemical is water. Its unfamiliar chemical name is dihydrogen monoxide. Instead of calling it water, he told its chemical name dihydrogen monoxide and gave all the facts against it. Nathan Jones didn't actually wanted to ban water. Actually, he didn't want to ban water. He's not a mad. He just wanted to show that how gullible we can be. All he gave are scientifically correct informations. These are the facts. He just twisted the facts in his favor and convinced his audience the way he wanted to convince. Media houses, same story goes to media houses. Media houses also do this to mold the opinion in the way they want, and also opinion of the public in the way they want, and also to increase their consumerism, so that if they serve such sensational news, their TRP will increase. Actually, the parody is not originally of Nathan Jones, because he was just a 14-year-old boy. He is not originally brainchild of Nathan Jones. In 1983, in April Fool's Day edition, 1983, Jones presented his paper in 1997, but in 83, in Durand Express, on 1st April, on April Fool's Day, an article was published that dihydrogen oxide has been found in sewage pipes and the article warned that it was fatal if inhaled and could produce blistering vapors. When Johanna, the article was there, but it was not so popular. When Johanna presented the paper, it attracted public eye and it became instantly very popular. Later on, some James Glassman named this parody after the boy's name, Jonah, and it is called Jonarism, to refer to this parody after the name of the boy. Thereafter, journalism is defined. The definition of journalism is that the use of a true fact to lead a scientifically and mathematically ignorant public to a false conclusion. In fact, this happens a lot more often than we may think. It happens every day, it's happening every day, and the number of journalism, we are thinking it is much more than that, a lot of than we think. Particularly, this journalism is applied particularly by the politicians, the conspiracy theorists, and schemers, etc., who want to disturb the society. They twist the proven facts to convince people into swallowing and following the concocted claims. Why only journalism? Why only journalism? Different kinds of corruption has entered into news that we are seeing nowadays. Rather, we can say not different kinds. We can say all kinds of corrupted and concocted news items have invaded our information channels, be it internet or television or print media and even films. We have seen nowadays recently the film Kashmir Files. It has created so much of hue and cry because they have presented some facts, so-called facts about the Kashmiri people, the Pandits, and some say that it is not true, it is false, twisted facts. Some say it is true. So we, the public, are always in dark. We are confused. We exactly don't know what exactly happened at that time. We may guess. We can calculate. We cannot exactly be sure from the media, the news items we are seeing, which is true, whether Kashmir Files facts given in Kashmir Files is true or false. That is the tragedy of the public, innocent people. In many of the issues, public stays really in dark about the truth of an event. Media ethics is there in its place. But the media people know the way how to slip out of its grip, the grip of the media ethics, to increase their TRP and to serve many malafide intentions. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, sir, for your very clear and brilliant presentation on the theme, the role of media ethics. Sir, as you have shown, as every profession has its ethics, media ethics as a profession has its set of ethics, and you reflected how media people have some responsibility to win the confidence of the people by exposing the truth. Media ethics, you said, that deals with the public life and the private life, and which contains the rule of life. And you have shown everything that I don't want to explore all the things because your paper is very, very clear. and it is understood by everybody. But and you have also cited different examples of the world here and different examples of the media people and professional media professionals, those have promoted their media to their exemplary works. I don't want to explore them, but yeah, you have said that without morality, it's very difficult to control media. But now there is a huge gap between the theory and practice, and it's now the viewers will discuss it. They will interact with you regarding their questions, regarding their observation, and regarding their comment. And with this, I now request Professor Dr. K. Umnam Rao to carry on the interactive session with Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Dr. Maharanam, for having this, for calling me. Well, there are certain network issues here because of the rain. Well, I am audible, I think. Okay. Okay, thank you. Well, it was a good presentation, and the paper, as you said, was very much clear. And before initiating the discussion, let me tell one thing that media, when we talk of media, it has a role, it has a responsibility to deliver, but problem arises when it is that the people are divided, and media takes the advantage to that, and it tries to focus on a particular issue in a manner that arouses interest among a certain section of people, and this is how certain media moves away from being neutral. So actually, if you go by what Gandhiji had in mind about media, is that the sole aim of media should be a sense of service. But that is missing when the media houses take side, when very much call for paid media. Okay, so the media will publicize, the media will go with your view when you have a certain payment to make. So this is how we have to look
sorry
into
to
the
interrupt. You are not clear actually. Your voice.
Okay, I have actually that is the problem. Actually, I have a network issue. I'm not audible.
Audible but not clear. Your voice is not clear.
You
Neither
are
your
audible,
picture
but
is
your voice is not clear.
nor your
Voice
picture.
is breaking.
Now is it clear?
Clear. Happens to be clear.
Now is it clear? Is it okay now?
Better. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Better. So actually, I said there are certain network issues, a bit of rain and all that. And what I mean to say is that media should go with a sense of service. But when it misses this, when it takes a side, when it tries to divide a section of people, then problems come into being. Well, I don't know whether I'm audible or not because of the network issue. Well, I should not speak more. Let us invite people here to interact on this issue. Well, we have with us Dr. Ranjit Ghosh, sir. Well, sir, welcome, sir. Namaskar, sir. Welcome, sir. If you have some observations to make, sir.
Sir. Hello.
Hello.
Sir, yes, sir.
ये
Thank you.
वर्तमान
Thank you,
समय
Dr.
में पत्रकारिता में नैतिकता की क्या रोल होना चाहिए? अभी आपने कश्मीर फाइल का जिक्र किया था, और कश्मीर फाइल देखने पर ही मुझे महसूस हुआ कि अगर इस तरह की जानकारी पहले लोग देते, मीडिया कर्मी, मीडिया के लोग, तो हम लोगों को बहुत सी जानकारी होती। क्या उसमें नैतिकता की रोल मीडिया कर्मी क्यों ने निभाई पत्रकारिता में? क्या वर्तमान समय में उसकी नैतिकता का जो लोभ खरास हो रहा है, उस पर क्या सुझाव होना चाहिए सर?
Sir, That's your personal view, I can say, on this platform, that that things are true. But my point of discussion, I referred Kashmir not on that point, whether it is really true or not. I wanted to say just that there is a debate. Some people say it is true, the facts shown are true. Some say it is not. I am not in any side. I am just putting the fact. So a common man cannot know exactly the man in the street, man sitting there, a schoolboy. He wants to know about Kashmir. He cannot know. Some people say it is true, some people say it is not. There is the problem for the common man. I don't know actually, or I am not going to support or oppose your view that it is true. Okay, sir.
But it is a very pertinent question that Ajit Thakur has raised. But one thing is there, ethics is a normative study of human behavior in the ordinary business of life. And when we study ethics in perspective of the information technology and the media people, so naturally this principle of ethics is applicable on them, because by doing all these things, because you have presented a very wonderful paper and I congratulate you for that. So in between the digression of Ajit Thakur, just I wanted to interrupt. It is the time of Professor Ghosh. So I'm sorry. However, but a cursory statement I am just giving it to you, that in fact we are in the age that we are going to, and you have also mentioned that we are in the age that we are going to do the things right or wrong at hook or by crook in our own way for raising the TRP, particularly in the media section, and you have already mentioned it. Now, the question of Ajit Thakur comes to you, how these tendency can be banned or be a boon for the people, so that we can develop a healthy attitude in media ethics, so that we can have a fair information from the people. And second thing is that even the people are divided on this line. As you have already mentioned about Kashmir files, it may be true, it may not be true, but there are so many peoples who are favoring it, and there are so many people who are not agreeing to it. But how we can have the real information, Professor Ajit Thakur wants to know, and what should be the parameters of media ethics that has to be implemented by the media people honestly and without raising their TRP rates and all these things. This is my humble submission on behalf of Ajit Kumar.
जी सर, इसमें सर जो दिखाया गया, तो सर इसकी पहली जानकारी अगर होती तो हम लोग इस पर टूली का बहुत सारा नॉट और पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव का सवाल ही नहीं उठता सर, अगर ये मीडिया उस समय दिखाती.
Anup SP.
Sir, once more, you are not exactly.
It's your prerogative to address the thing. It is not mine. He was addressing me. Yeah.
Please repeat it, sir. Sir, please repeat it.
Sir, is my voice clear, sir? Now, is my voice clear
Yes,
now?
yes, yes.
So
Very clear.
what Professor Thakur wants to say is that had it been the case that the media might have reported what has happened in Kashmir long back. Okay, so now the question of believing what is shown in Kashmir files. Okay, so the question of believing, not believing would have never arisen. Actually, many things have been hidden. What the concern is, many things have been hidden that time. Okay, why the media played a double role? Why it tried to hide something? What was the aspect that made them to hide certain things? Why the clear picture could not come out? So these are the questions that we need to address. Is it so? Is it, again, you have to look into, is it the fact that the media was under certain pressure to hide the facts, or is it that what is said in the Kashmir files is somehow exaggerated? So this is the question, because why, if at all something has been hidden, so we need to address why things have been hidden. So we have to look into it.
Yes.
And what Professor Thakur has said, that had been the media been so fair at that time, the question of believing and not believing in what has been addressed in Kashmir file would have never taken place. So this is the concern I feel. Well, they are free to interact.
And my problem is what should be the parameter adopted by the media people to be impartial and so that the facts should come to us and not the fiction.
Sir, I have
Dr. Anup,
pessimistic.
I'm sorry to intervene, but since we are talking about Kashmir files, also what is the guarantee that what has been shown now is correct or not?
Yes, right.
There's always the other side of the coin, I'm sorry to tell you. It's just that probably the people who know the other side of the coin are not in a position to talk about it.
Actually, we, the common man, doesn't know anything. That's what I was telling. And some will, how can you know the truth? Something happened some 36, 40 years ago. How can you know? Once the event slips away, the truth hides. Plain, simple thing. Before your eyes, some accident happens in the road. You going to define it, you describe it. Immediately the description becomes different from the facts, even if we are not intentionally doing it. So yeah, and so great thing. As I have told you, media people are pressurized from different angles, and there will be, that's why I say that I have a pessimistic view, that there will be pressure all the time. It is financial pressure, it is political pressure, and all kinds of pressure. There were political people at that time who wanted to suppress it. There was threatenings to the journalists, don't publish these things. So naturally, these things, the factors will be there, and we, the public, will always remain in dark.
Okay, but we are just forgetting our path. Your paper was on the media ethics, not on the Kashmir files.
That's what I said.
And second
this
thing,
is not the platform to discuss these things.
So we have went in a different way, but it is again a fact.
Yes.
But it is again a fact. About 5 lakhs people has come down to from the valleys, and they are still on the roads, and particularly in the Jammu and rest of the world, the rest of this country. So this is again a fact, and such sort of people who are leaving their own homeland is not a very ordinary thing. There must be something grave, and one must think about that. But my question is, what should be the parameters that may evolve a healthy situation? I am not hinging upon the Kashmir files, and I don't want to be in the controversy of that. My question is directly on your paper, nothing more on that.
Sir, sir, Professor Sir, the parameters are there, sir. The theory is there, the code is there, but how far we go with the code, okay, that matters, because the media houses too are under much pressure. Okay, so they are also they have to carry on their business. So now there is much of business orientation. So that is again another question that comes to mind. Okay, so we have to we cannot be one-sided, as even Roma madam has said that we cannot go by one side. We should see the pain from the other side too. So why this question is actually coming up? Because somehow you see, as Professor Anup said, that media is very powerful because it can wash the minds the way it wants. So taking this point of view, people pose upon the media to express their views, the partial views. So that's how media gets indulged in a certain in a certain perspective, and it is not complete in that sense. So it is not neutral in that sense. So as Gandhiji, as I said, Gandhiji said the role of media is service. It should reflect the truth, as Professor Das Professor Roy said. It should be honest. There should be fairness. The code is already there, but how far that is implemented is the big question mark. So there the problem lies. Well, Professor
Hello.
Ranjit Ghosh, sir, please welcome. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
My suggestion is this, that Dr. Rai has given only role of media ethics, the traditional media ethics, because all these questions, integrity, accountability, or truthfulness, all these things are coming so far as the traditional media ethics is concerned. But what happens during the present situation, the social media and technology has taken over the traditional ethical values. Because what are these social media things? YouTube is there, the Facebook is there, the Twitter is there, and all these things, they are trying to create a situation just by the appealing, making appeal to the public sentiments. So what is important here? One concept we have to keep in mind, that is the concept of notion of privacy, that's what we say. And that is most important, because in social media, all these things, you see, Elon Musk has now purchased the Twitter. And in the process, he is having control over the 50 crores people's data in his hand. Because in this way, what will happen? We are losing our privacy. Of course, privacy is a negative right that every man ought to enjoy. Because once if you infiltrate into others' privacy, others' information, then that is the death of the ethical situation. So the concept of privacy is most important so far as these social platforms are concerned. So we have to make a distinction between the role of the traditional media ethics and the role of the technology-based social media ethics. So this is my submission, and you can develop on this point. Thank you.
Sir, I have
Thank you, sir. बहुत अच्छा रहा, sir. Anup Babu. ठीक, sir.
Thank you. I think time is there for the second session. But sir, Ranjit sir, I want to just asking you. Now it is highly technological, no doubt. Technology has overpowered the traditional journalism. But the ethics stands same. Whether you use whatever technology you can use, but it has to be truthful. You have to be fact-based. That is always there. But technologically, how you are manipulating or how you are using it, that's a different case. Isn't it?
Because you see, this notion of privacy is most important factor. That means that is how one's identity is established. And if my identity, my informations are leaked in some way or other, you see, I don't have any problem if my information is leaked. But you see, take the case of a business house. If the information of a business house is leaked, then it will that business house has to incur a great loss. And that is why, because of this social media, all these type of things are going on. Whether Kashmir file is right or wrong, it is good or bad, all these ethical issues are coming because of the social media. Because as Professor Thakur mentioned, that पहले से आता तो और कुछ होता, कुछ नहीं होता. Because that was the situation. Because now we are seeing that the leftist, the left orientation of representation of the history has completely been changed, and we are now getting many informations which we are not aware of. And this generation, those who have become adult during the onset of 21st century, they are known as millennium generation. So they are more addicted to this social media, and they can make and unmake the situation, all the political, economic, everything. So this is very important. That is what I am telling. Because traditional way of looking at media ethics is there, the truthfulness, the integrity, this all these things should be there. But along with that, this notion of privacy is to be considered very important way, because you see, privacy is we can say it is a paradoxical situation.
privacy is a paradox. It's a negative right, we can say, but it must be there. Unless it is there, we just cannot just grow in social life, in our social life. That is what I am trying to write. Thank you.
One more thing is, sir, Professor Ghosh has given a very new dimension to it, and it is a very important question he has raised and suggestion as well. But one more thing is there, that these social media, when it is honored by others, they are also controlling our minds, and that's why they often forecast the election. That party is going to win and that party is going to win, and they are making a wind against and in favor of the parties. So this is again a very dangerous thing that has to be stopped. But what I wanted to see, the parameters are already there, and since it is an applied ethics, how to implement and how to inculcate these parameters in a new emerging society, this is the problem. This I wanted to ask Professor Rai.
Okay, sir.
Dr. Anup, you want to say something? Well,
No,
yes.
is there any question more?
Well,
I think
one
there is
thing,
time.
Then Dr. Pragya Kanunga has a question. Okay, Dr. Pragya Kanunga has a question.
yes, welcome, Pragya madam. Well, Pragya madam, are you there? Please put
Yes,
on your
yes, sir. Namaskar to all. Yes, namaskar to all. And sir, Roy sir, the talk was very informative. But let me say one thing. You ended on a negative note that we are always in dark and we are always being deceived. Is there a way out? And how to guide Professor Ranjit Ghosh was talking about the millennials, the generation Z, how to guide them, how can they differentiate between truth and falsehood?
You see, madam,
Your response. Thank you.
Parameters are there, codes are there, and we are in he also asked the same question. There is how many parameters, how many principles you may frame. Until and unless the media people themselves are aware and strict on their profession, it cannot be done. I am, as I have told you, I am a bit pessimistic on this matter, because after all, you see, the journalists are human beings. They have their family, they have their own life. We have seen that in recent days, some free journalists, free speakers were killed, murdered. Everybody has fear for their life. Such situation arise when politicians or smugglers or anything, if they pressurize, what a poor journalist can do. I am using the word poor not to demean them. I am using for their helplessness. What can they do? Therefore, if the codes will be there, principles will be there, and with that, the media people will discover new way to slip out of the grip. That's all.
Thank you for your response. But such things cannot be justified on ethical grounds.
No, it is not at all justified. It is not at all justified. Ethics cannot justify it. But ethics is ethics. It is theoretical, and practical things are different from that.
Yes,
So-
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. What I could say from Dr. Roy is that the people are innocent.
Yes.
Say the way media presents, the way the things are presented in the social media, the people go by it. Okay, and greatly carried by it, because the presentation is that imposing that you have no way out other than to.
They have to. They have to.
So here one point comes to my mind, that as long as we don't distinguish between a fact and an opinion, the problems arise. Okay, so the fact is a fact, but the opinions are something different. So as long as the media people go on with the opinion, give a color of opinion to the fact, okay, so the problems arise and the question of truth and falsity arise. And always there is a question mark in mind whether what is accepted in the media, how far we can believe in that. So these are the questions that we need to address. So there the problem lies, because the facts are not presented as facts, rather the opinions are presented as facts, and we are carried on by that. And the concern what I see in Anup sir is the people are innocent. So the way their minds are washed, they go by it. So once you very imposingly you say something, they go by it. So he was putting the example of water. So the way the media people, the way it is presented, so dihydrogen monoxide. So it is water. So because the people are innocent, because the presentation was so clear, so imposing, so the people got carried by it without thinking that it is nothing but water. So there the problem lies. So and media knows how to present things in so imposing way that the people get carried by it. There lies the whole problem. Thank you. Well, we have with us our admin, Professor Pramod Madas. I want to let us have some comments from him. Professor Pramod Madas, sir.
I really appreciate Dr. Roy. He very beautifully he presented his paper on media ethics. When we are discussing about media ethics, we are just discussing what should be the media and what should not be. This much we are discussing, and people are not innocent nowadays. When we are looking, we reading newspaper or we are watching television, we are hearing that in a very suspicious manner, because we doubt, because now people are conscious about the role of media. They are very much suspicious. We are doubtful. So that consciousness is there. So now we are not innocent. So media has lost its freedom. Media has become a business. Media has become a political instrument, political mechanism, and all these things are well known to the common people. Even the illiterate person who is living in the village, he is also trying to review the news. And now, as Dr. Ranjit Ghosh said about the role of social media, now we are finding many programs. There is group discussion. That suppose one event took place, then there is a group discussion in telemedia. So there, truth comes out, because different people from different perspectives they discuss. So now we are aware of it. But media, when we are discussing about media ethics, media should be ethical. Media should not be unethical. That is the point. Whatever technology may be advanced, in all these situations, we should not have an unethical media communication. This is my observation. Thank you, Dr. Roy, for your beautiful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Professor Das. Well, if somebody is interested to have a question or a suggestion, they are welcome. Even Dr. Maharana, well, you have something in mind to say, sir. Dr. Kailas Maharana, sir.
Well, actually, we have to move to second session.
So thank you, Dr. Roy. Well, we have to move to the second session now. Let's move to Dr. Maharana for taking the course of action to welcome Professor Marazi sir for his lecture on communal harmony.